Такая погода не к добру.
Это нам не поможет. Дурное у меня предчувствие.
Спятили все! Просто спятили! Все, хватит! Не стерплю больше! За Родину! Ура! Ура!
Hello there everyone, and welcome back. Out here in the woods, wearing a uniform. The last video I posted got over 60,000 views. It did really well, so I thought as soon as possible, and since there's a heat had subsided, there's a European heat wave going on, as soon as that's gone, I need to get out and see if I can cash in, get some more views. So I think we'll start just by answering a few of the questions, a few of the common questions that we'll post on that video. And it also say hello to the influx of new viewers, since I got, I think, over 200 new subscribers from that video. So hello to you. Right, so to your most common question, I think the most common was whether or not I have ever been mistaken for the World War II baddies. And I can definitely see why you say that, because the silhouette is definitely similar with the steel helmet. However, that has in fact never happened. No one's ever mistaken me for that or shouted after me or anything. In fact, I think the only sort of negative reaction was what I recounted in the last video, which was one of my neighbors, which was, I mean, even he was just slightly passive-aggressive in a way, in a strange way, and I do think he's got like some kind of issue. So no, usually I must say people just ignore me. It's like people are very chill about it. They don't really care. They kind of just, if they see me out with a, I think the camera, I usually make sure that it's very clear that I'm carrying a camera with me, which I think is part of the disarming. But you know, that's just my idea. Maybe people just don't care. Like most people simply don't care, even with me carrying around, you know, weapons and in some cases even hand grenades. But yeah, no one really cares. And I think to an American, I think that's, you know, not going into too much into it. But we don't have the same kind of culture and the same kind of occurrences that happens in places like the US. And so that's why people don't really, you know, see it as a threat. Even though, I mean, at the distance, you wouldn't be able to tell that this is an airsoft, right? I mean, but no. So yeah, to answer your question in short, no one's ever thought I was the World War II baddies. Right, the second most common question must be the one, where do I get my stuff? And usually I'm quite tired of answering that question because I get asked it all the time. So I usually just a little bit passive-aggressive, which is not great, and I apologize for that. But I usually just say the internet. And I mean, it's true, but usually people aren't very specific. They just say, where do you get the stuff? They don't say, where did you get that hand grenade? Where did you get that rifle? Where did you get that helmet? They just, where do you get the stuff? And the thing is, like, this kit alone is probably like 5 different resellers, and like some stuff is from eBay, some stuff is from, you know, all over the place. And then also add into the fact that I've been acquiring these stuff for, you know, the past 5-7 years maybe. So I don't even remember where I got all the stuff. But I'll try to go, let's go really quickly, and I'll try to, as best as possible, I'll also put links to as many of these as possible in the description, in the video description. So let's quickly go through the different items. So, why don't we start with the hand grenade? Now, in this exact format is no longer available. I've tried to find the seller of these, and I could find him, but I couldn't find that he was still selling these. However, I did find another one, very similar, and it's on eBay. And it's a woodwork guy from Ukraine. They make very similar of these types of hand grenades. As you might tell, this is not like your standard. I think the standard hand grenade most people are from German hand grenade most people are familiar with. I mean, this is a chunky boy, because this is the early war hand grenade of 1915, and that's why it's so oversized. They hadn't really figured out the correct, I guess also maybe the, I shouldn't go in and start guessing actually. I don't know exactly why it was this big, but I guess, you know, they needed to get something really quickly out. If you've seen the really early ones, they usually just slapped some kind of, you know, explosive to whatever, a broom handle, and then light a fuse and then throw it, to sort of improvise hand grenades. So they needed to get something really quickly out there, and this was one of the first ones. So this one's on eBay. Then we got another thing right over here, also from eBay, and this is actually an original German bayonet. And the cool thing about it is, it actually fits onto my airsoft. Now, it's probably gonna break the airsoft off if I ever stab anyone with it, but at that point, that would be the least of my worries, wouldn't it? So, I guess there's, you know, different auction sites. Maybe if you're actually in Germany, you can go into an old antique store and find these. But I found this on eBay, or, you know, you could probably find these on antique stores or online auction sites. Very nice. This one is known as the Butcher's Bayonet. It's from 1916. I don't think it's going to focus in, but there's a little stamp there that says 1916. So that's an original item that I have. Then there's the weapons. So I've got quite a few weapons. Most of them are airsofts. The one we saw in the last one was the MP18 by Snowwolf, but as many people pointed out, it's actually more of an MP28. The MP18, of course, had a snail drum mag, and not the box magazine. Now, it was intended at first to have the box magazine, but I guess the Army Supply Masters didn't want to add another you know, production for a new magazine, so instead they used a already existing one, and they used the god-awful snail drum for the Luger So yeah, most of these are actually, I guess you can find them in most different, if you search for like World War One airsoft weapons, you can find them at different stores all over. But the ones I got is from, I think it's called Fire something. I can't exactly remember now when I'm out in the woods, but it's Fire something from Poland where I got it. And in terms of the MP18 Snow Wolves one, I think they've actually now started restocking it in the store. Like for the most time, when people have been asking, I've said it wasn't available, and I was just checking quite recently for someone, and I think they're actually restocking the MP18, so it is available. One thing though I should say about that, it's really heavy, so you should definitely just get it for the provenance of it being like an MP18, or if you're doing, you know, sort of World War One-ish airsoft, because it's really heavy and cumbersome, and so it's not really going to be like a I don't think it's going to fare well in competition with other ones. So there we have that. I also have the this C96 gas powered, similar with that one. Actually quite funny with all these is that they're all sort of Taiwanese make. I guess the Taiwanese make a lot of airsoft, but a lot of them, like the Snow Wolf MP18, might be marketed like that. But like if you take a look at this one, and I think it's on the my C96 as well, this rifle and my MP28, they all got the Kuomintang, which is the Chinese nationalist army. They've all got that mark on it. So it's really made, I guess, to start off with, for sort of World War II-ish reenactment for Taiwanese. Or not reenactment, I shouldn't say, but airsofts for that market, and then they've also been sold on export as well. So kind of interesting. Yeah. So we've gone through quite a bit of the kit, but not all of it. So for instance, like the uniform jacket, the bread bag straps, the ammo pouches, the belt buckle, you know, all this kind of stuff. The helmet, I shouldn't have taken that one. That's a horrible view. We'll put that back on. Oh, the lighting is all over. Lighting is not great out here in the woods. Yes, most of this is from, the thing is, I can't exactly recall, but I know that I got the jacket and the pants from History Bunker. Now, no, not like the people who are in the know will go, ooh, History Bunker? Yeah, but it was History Bunker like 5 years ago. Right now, I'd probably be looking at something like where I got this helmet cover, which is Schuster. However, Schuster is located in, I think it's Belarus or Russia. So I think they might be a little bit difficult to get a hold of those stuff. Not so much because of shipping, more so because of, you know, them being able to receive your payment. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't ordered from anything from them in the last, I can't remember, but yeah, since the war started anyways. But they make really good stuff, and it's also quite cheap. So that's quite nice. So that's for like the uniform stuff, like the jacket, the pants, and like this cloth stuff. The epaulets here, I actually got them from some guy on Facebook. Someone recommended that he made really nice markings here, and I maybe should say here, why is it the 54th? It's just kind of a meme, because I used to run a internet clan, gaming clan called the 54th, that was sort of trying to recreate in Mount & Blade Napoleonic Wars, trying to recreate a French regiment. And I can't remember exactly why we choose the number 54E, but yeah, that was it. So that's why I just took that, rather than trying to go through different regiments and whatnot. So yeah, that's that. Most of the equipment, like the Pred bag straps, the ammo pouches, the belt, and also like the water bottle, the shovel, the bread bag straps. Most of this comes from Hessian Antique. Now, for me, this is kind of good because there's two stores called Hessian Antique. There's one in Germany for us European, and then there's one in America for you Americans. I have ordered from the American one, however, there's quite a hefty toll fee on a lot of those stuff, so I'm not ordering from there anymore. I can't exactly remember what I got from there. There's also like the boots. I think I got the boots there as well, from Hessian Antiques. And that's the one with a K, Antique, with a K, the one in Germany. But there's a few other stores as well that you might check out for bits and bobs. Usually, you won't find everything you're looking for at one store. So yeah, there's that. So those, I think, were the most common questions that you guys have been asking about. And right now, I can't think of anything that really pops out at me that's like this one. They always ask about this one, because it usually is where do you get the stuff. Also, what it cost. I would say, I mean, the cost depends, but I would say around like €1,000 is kind of the baseline where you're thinking for a standard sort of kit, like the baseline would probably be. Now, we've got quite a bit of inflation as of late, so who knows where that is right now. But that's roughly where I look at the baseline for all kind of my uniform kits, is around €1,000 is kind of the base of it. But then usually it spirals on after that and becomes, you know, as more and more bits and bobs are added on, it usually increases can increase quite a bit. So it's definitely not something you do on the cheap, that's for sure. With that, I think I'm gonna end it now. I'm rambling on quite a bit, but hopefully I managed to get enough footage out here for another video. So I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.